Awesome. Thank you all for jumping on today. Today we have Karim Boktor on the call. Super excited to have him to share with you all today. If you don't already know, we are an apparel brand, workout and urban brand with a purpose, and our purpose is to really echo the life rebuilding, journey or the things that we've had to do to rebuild our lives or gone through a hard time, just to be able to inspire and empower others that are probably going or through something like that or have gone through something like that. So just really, really cool to have Karim on the call. I know he's got a great journey that he's been on, and I'm really excited to hear him share, I guess, his rebuilding story for us all to sort of take away pieces from. So Karim, all yours, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ali. And I really love your brand, man. It means it means a lot. And to have something like, a really strong brand, it's especially for men these days, it's powerful, man. So for me, I guess why I relate to this brand so much is because I remember opening up a business. It was like my third business, right? I was so confident. I was probably too confident. And at the same time that I settled into my new business, we were having our firstborn. And it was probably one of the hardest times of my life. I didn't know how to be a father, and we were opening up a business that had been run down, and we had to build it back up again. And no matter what I did in the business, I still felt I was always on the back foot. Like, I did all the implementation, I did all the strategies, I did all the marketing, and then nothing would work. And then I would go home and I'd still feel like crap because my wife was having trouble with my son. He had colic, we didn't even know. So that meant that he was waking up every 20 minutes, which meant we were too,
Wow.
right? So she was waking up like, it was like torture. So she was waking up, I was waking up, and that meant that I went into work always on the back foot. And then I just started getting anxious, and then depression, and then my business was just start to crash. And no matter what I did, like, it was like the harder that I worked,
Mm.
right? It was like the more that I was getting stuck into quicksand.
Yeah. Wow.
It was like the more that I did, the worse that I'd got. So I quickly became the problem.
Mm.
And I didn't know how to fix it. Like, it was, and then, someone told me, Karim, did you want to see a psychologist? Did you want to see a therapist? And I'm like, I don't want to hug, right? I don't want to tell people about my feelings. My family, like, we're gonna go homeless. Like, we won't be able to pay rent. What am I gonna do? I need money,
Wow.
right? And it was a really tough moment for me.
Yeah.
And then through my self journey and through self discovery, um, I learned that there was like this coach, right? So similar to like a Tony Robbins coach,
Mm.
and they create change. They create change fast. You know? Yeah. In like previous to that, I tried business consultants, business coaching. Nothing was working.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then this guy's like, "Yep, come, let's have a chat." And then I told him how, well, he's like, Karim, what are you feeling? Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling anxious. I'm depressed. I'm just feeling like I'm not good enough.
Mm.
Like, I'm not a good provider as a father. He's like, tell me about your management skills. He's like, dude, I just want to be liked by my team. He's like, okay. He's like, dude, tell me about your childhood. Like, my childhood.
Wow.
All right. Right. Here we go. I thought this wasn't going to be therapy. All right. Anyway, so I went along with it because nothing was going to, like, I wasn't going to lose anything.
Mm.
He said specifically from 0 to 7, what happened? And I'm like, all right, well, dad was persecuted in Egypt. He came down because, they were going to kill him. He had to move his whole family down. He came down with no money, no job, no
Wow.
language. And I was just saying it like this. right? I was just saying it like how I am now. And he's
Mhm.
like, hang on. Stop. He's like, dude, when you came to Australia, how did you feel? And I'm like, yeah, okay for the first couple of years. But when I started school, I started to feel a little bit crap because the kids in the class, they didn't want to be friends with me. So I was alone.
Wow,
So I was
wow.
constantly wanting to be liked. I was constantly wanting to be, everyone's friend.
Mm,
And because I also had a massive stutter, I just closed up and I suppressed myself. I closed up because I was so embarrassed of speaking
mm.
that even the teachers didn't know what to do with me. They put me into another room.
Yeah,
They
wow.
segregated me from another class and they thought that was the best idea. So, like throughout my childhood, I always thought that I was not good enough. I wasn't like the other kids. I never had friends. Um, I couldn't express myself. So even when I was angry or sad, I couldn't tell anyone that I was angry or sad.
Yeah, wow.
And when he started highlighting, okay, so how did you feel after that? I was like, dude, like I was anxious, I was depressed. It's like, and that
Mm,
was like a big light bulb moment for me. I was like, someone turned on the light inside of me. It's like, this isn't a new problem.
mm.
He goes, can you remember feeling this anxious and depressed and wanting to be liked all throughout your life? I'm like, yeah. Now that I come to think of it, but along the way, I had many coping mechanisms.
Mm, mm,
Right? For me, it was food. Food was my drug. For
mhm,
other people, it's alcohol or drugs or whatever it is. But for me, numbing my pain was food. So I
mm.
was severely overweight.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a moment
And
to realize that, in that time. So that's huge.
it was huge, man. It was
Mm,
a huge moment for me that
mm,
it wasn't a business problem. It was a me problem,
mm,
right? Because if I was constantly like, it's like this. The analogy is if I'm the driver of the bus, right? And the bus is the business. I've got all the staff in there. I've got my wheels, I've got my engine. The engine is like the marketing and the strategy, right?
mm.
But if I'm driving and I'm not seeing properly, so the windscreen's dirty, I'm going to continuously crash. No matter how big the engine is, like you put in like a big V12 in there,
Mm.
no matter how fast this marketing or strategy engine is, I'm the one steering it.
So true, man. So true.
So I'm going to keep crashing it and had
Mm.
nothing to do with anything else other than me, right? Which was also a very humbling moment too.
Yeah. So from that sort of realization, I guess, what are some of the things that you started to put in place to really shift out and push through those things that were holding you back?
Yeah, so the first thing that I had to do is really take responsibility for everything that I've done.
Mm,
I think that's the hardest bit is owning your shit
mm, yeah.
and really taking responsibility. How did I get here? Because it's always about the story. It's always about, oh my gosh, but you don't know what happened to my life. You don't know what my upbringing was like. I was beaten, I was abused, whatever, how big it could be like true what happened.
Yeah.
If you want to change a different story and if you want to move on, we've got to change the narrative, right? And we've got to own why we haven't done what we haven't done,
Yeah, it's good, man. Really good.
right? So it's owning up to, because then, because when we own it, we can really own the power to move forward. If we're constantly blaming other people,
Mm,
then we're giving away our power,
yeah.
right? If we're giving away, if we, like if we're constantly saying, oh, but I was meant to expect this, then we're relying on others to do it for us.
So true.
So we just have to be in a position where we say, okay, I stuffed up, whatever it was, I didn't do this properly. Okay, now I own it.
Mm,
Okay, so that's one. Okay. And then the step two is uh, is creating a space where you can think, okay, now what can I do now to change this moving forward? So there are many things out there, right? One of the things that I do is called the Boktor Method. Now, away from therapy and away from all those things which I think are well and are good in their place, I think there's also a place for something that needs to work faster, that has a deeper impact and deeper healing, and that lasts longer too. Right? It's not superficial stuff. We get into your unconscious mind, get into really heal that deeper part of that's really holding you back.
It's good, man. So that's, I guess, the first, like you said, is owning it. Second part is that comes that healing and what do I do now with it? So it's that next step of where you took it. It'd be great to hear.
Yeah. Because if you've got, as an example, if you've got anxiety or depression, we need to switch that off. Right? It's not like I don't think and believe that having it like therapy for years and years, and still just like, to me, that's just adopting coping mechanisms, ways of just like, hey, you've got it. How can we build a boat around this coping mechanism to make you feel better? Whereas I'm saying I'm taking out the anxiety, the unwarranted anxiety, so you can just live a normal life now.
That's
right?
powerful.
That's the difference. Yep.
That's awesome, man. So when you started to do that, so I guess that pushing through and really getting free and breaking away from a lot of that stuff that was holding you back. How was your life then? Sort of going from where you were to how it ended up going.
It was so liberating, but it meant like it's like this, right? It's like turning on the light, right, and seeing how all the aisles was a mess, right, and then seeing every aisle, and then going aisle by aisle and cleaning it up.
Wow.
Right, but instead of it taking so long, because the Boktor method is a really fast healing process, it's like we get a machine, whoop, and we just clean up the aisles, and you just feel so light. You feel liberated from not having to feel this way anymore. Not being triggered, and having more boundaries. All those things that really held you back is now like, like once you felt like you had shackles and you're weighted down. Now you feel so alive and you got so much energy.
So good, man. So good.
Yeah.
That's really the essence of, I believe, what Farrell Spelator really, I hope to create is taking those gems of what you've shared and what many other people will share as well, and how they went from a state of, kind of hopelessness or brokenness or wherever they are, to come out through that. And what you've shared today, Karim, is so powerful. Owning it, the process of healing and allowing you to get through that and launch as you have. And I've seen you. I can testify to you and what I've seen your life do, and who you are today is amazing, man. And what you're achieving. You're international TEDx speaker, and obviously, you've started the Boktor Method, and it's incredible to see the impact you are having in your community and people in the world. So yeah, I just commend you for what you're doing, man, and I really look forward to seeing you even go further. So, but is there any last things you wanted to sort of highlight today for people out there maybe going through a really tough space right now, a real struggle, or they've maybe come out of it? But yeah, if there's some last words for them right now.
Yeah, especially for the men out there, right? There's a lot of, like, it's just like this cliche thing where there's a lot of like, there's no bravery in asking for help. It's biggest bullshit ever.
It's true, man.
Actually, the most bravest people are the ones that are asking for help, because they're not the one being fearful of how they're being judged. Right? It's like, yeah, I need help. I don't care what you think. They're the bravest ones, right?
So true. So true.
So all the men out there, if you think that you're brave, ask for help. Even if you don't think you're brave, ask for help. Because we live in a community, you're not a lone wolf. Like, we need to be in a community where we need to lean on each other, and we need to really feel that we can ask for help.
Yeah.
You can't do it alone. Even if it's not me, speak to Ali, so whoever it is, just say, hey man, I'm not right. This is what's going on with me. I'm feeling a little bit down. Me and my partner aren't working out. I'm feeling a bit shit. What can you suggest? And I can guarantee you 100% that the other person can help you, because everyone goes through it.
So true. It's so true.
You know?
That's great advice. Great sort of gem there to share, because that is definitely the first step and the biggest challenge to actually talk about, or talk to someone about it. But man, that's awesome. I really appreciate you sharing and sharing your I guess experience with Breakthrough, and what you've gone through, and now helping so many others. Thank you so much for joining. I guess jumping on this call. You are the first, I guess, recording for Faros Bellator, so it's pretty cool to have you on, Karim. So, and look forward to the many great things that awaits, and what you will achieve, my friend. Awesome.
I'm excited for you, man. Thank you, and you're doing a great thing. So I'm really excited to see where this is heading. Good on you, man.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Cheers.